You're saying this is a couple of years ago and he looks happy and healthy.
Oh, we have pictures from him in December looking perfectly fine.
He was fine in Christmas.
Are you angry at the hospital?
Yes. Yes, I am.
This truly is a heartbreaking story that everyone needs to see. So please watch it through to the end, then head over to changethecruelrule.com to sign and share the petition to ensure that it never happens again.
My father was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer on the 6th of January earlier this year. And it was either March the 6th or 7th, he was put into palliative care.
Palliative care is where terminally ill patients are transferred for end-of-life care. And if you look on the Olivia Newton-John Centre website, they claim to work with you to meet your emotional, spiritual and practical needs in a holistic way, promising their support extends to the family too.
Out of my family, there's 10 of us overall, and 7 of them are vaccinated. So the vaccinated part of our family, they were allowed to go see Dad. We called up to ask, what does it take for an unvaccinated person to get in? And first off, they refused us.
So you understand, the current guidelines from the government state on their website right now, it says hospital visitors must have at least 2 doses of the vaccine or show evidence of a negative rat test that is taken on the day of the visit. The brothers should have never been banned, but for some reason, the Olivia Newton-John Palliative Care Centre in the Austin Hospital has its own callous and irrational rule.
Patients who are receiving end-of-life terminal care, they would have to apply for an exemption.
That's exactly what they did. After fighting to be able to see their dying father, the brothers received an exemption to visit him once, separately, in full PPE, for maximum an hour after producing the negative rat test at the hospital.
Obviously, when your father is very close to passing, he wants to see you, and we want to see him. And for them to at first refuse us, and then once they gave us an exemption for only 1 hour and a one-off visit for the entirety of his stay, that's an unbelievable cruelty to us and Dad.
Following their visit, the brothers then called the hospital to see if there was any chance that they could revisit their father before he dies within the expected month.
We came in and we had an exemption to see my father. Now, the exemption, is it just once or can we come in again?
It's a one-off for his whole admission. And that was explained to your mother when I got those exemptions granted.
Can you explain why that is?
It's a hospital policy with the COVID situation.
To be honest, Dad, when I saw him, he was like, "I can't believe they let you in." Like that was his mindset. Like, as in they've been so cruel to unvaccinated people. Just it's so telling when he said that. It's like, I can't believe they even let you see me. When I was dying for 1 hour. So, that obviously that was really heartbreaking. I just don't understand, because we take a negative rat test.
But it's still limiting the risk to both patients and staff.
So even if we have a negative rat test, we're still at risk?
Yeah, they only allow that one off.
But are we still at risk even if we have a negative rat test?
It's limiting risk, and that's what the policy is of the hospital. I have actually taken it to the executive, and I even spoke to the executive today because your mum said it's unfair, and executive had said no. It's what the policy is, and it was explained to your mother that it is a one-off exemption for the 1 hour, and that's all we can do.
They didn't explain the science behind it. Pretty much the way it goes is you get a nurse and she just speaks for the hospital, and they'll just say, this isn't what I believe. These are just the rules that I've been given.
Well, I did put the questions directly to the hospital, including why they stop unvaccinated family members from visiting dying relatives when the government's guidelines specifically permits it with a negative rat test. And I asked them what the science is behind allowing vaccinated people to visit while banning the unvaccinated when vaccinated people can carry and spread the virus too.
We would have done any tests they required. This is not an issue. Like, we would have taken multiple rat tests in a row, because if you take about 3, the percentage jumps up to a really high percent accuracy.
So you're happy to do that?
Do anything.
PCR test.
Anything, yeah.
So your problem is not doing this. Are you the same?
Yeah, I'm happy to do whatever they want to give me. I mean, my dad's dying, so like obviously I would be.
And that's understandable, but I just can't work it out then. If you guys were willing to do 3 in a row, which they say is over 95% accuracy, then how can they stop somebody because they're unvaccinated? What is the science behind it? I will pose the question to them, but I can't for the life of me figure out the science behind that.
Look, if you get the answer, you let us know, because we're having a hard time trying to figure that out as well.
It's been more than 2 days and the hospital has yet to explain the science that allows vaccinated people to enter as many times as they wish without even a single test, yet bans unvaccinated loved ones from entering no matter how many tests they're willing to take.
It seems what you said, your mum called it illogical. It seems unscientific. If you're willing to let the other 7 members of the family in as many times as they want without any tests, so they could likely be carrying the virus in, you're happy to let them in and out without a test, but you're going to ban the unvaccinated who are willing to do 3 rat tests, who are willing to do a PCR test, who are willing to do whatever test you want to make sure that they're coming in clean, but you're going to stop them only because they're unvaccinated.
There's absolutely no science to explain the hospital's policy, and it's clearly designed to punish the unvaccinated in the most inhumane way possible.
I don't know how people can be so cruel to others and just be so heartless. So look, it's tough to understand.
It sure is. Sadly, their father passed away last weekend, and while the hospital hasn't responded, I shared their story with Olivia Newton-John's daughter, Chloe, who, even though her mother has nothing to do with the draconian rules being implemented in the hospital, she sent back this powerful message to the brothers.
Hello, Marco and Ivan. My name's Chloe. I heard your story, and my heart absolutely broke for you, your family, and your father, that you missed out on your last precious moments with him, and that he missed out on those last precious moments with you. Such a hard time in the world right now, and the most important thing is love and family. So my heart really, really broke for you, that you missed that. So I wanted you to know that you are thought of, and that your story matters, and that your family matters. And I really hope that these policies are changed. They don't make sense. And I hope no other family has to go through what you went through. Sending so much love and light your way.
Beautifully put. Good on her. I hope she inspires the hospital to also apologise, and more importantly, at least from the family's perspective, encourages them to change the cruel rule.
What Mum would like even more than an apology was what I previously stated, was for them to change the rules so people in future don't have to experience what we did.
If this story hits you in the way it did for me, make sure to head over to changethecruelrule.com to sign and share the petition in our best attempt to stop this from happening to any other family. It's the least we can do. Changethecruelrule.com now.